Welcome to Barbara's Bulletin, the podcast where we bring you the latest news from around the world. We have a packed show for you, with updates on global events, politics, sports, and more. Let's start with some of the top stories making headlines today. In the world of finance, France is considering a windfall tax on massive oil profits, which has sparked a reaction from energy giant Total Energies. The company is pushing back against the proposed tax, citing concerns about its impact on the industry. Meanwhile, in the Middle East, tensions remain high as the US and Iran engage in a game of high-risk, high-reward diplomacy. The situation is being closely watched by China, which has stated its key priorities as keeping the Hormuz Strait open, getting oil flowing, and avoiding getting dragged into conflicts. In sports news, Paris Saint-Germain has secured a spot in the Champions League final with a 1-1 draw against Bayern Munich thanks to a goal from Ousmane Dembélé. And in a somber note, the Central African Republic is working to rehabilitate former child soldiers, teaching them new skills like sewing to help them move on from the violence they've experienced. We're also following news of the passing of Ted Turner, the pioneering founder of CNN, who died at the age of 87. His legacy in the world of journalism and media will undoubtedly be remembered for years to come. From politics to sports, and from tragedy to triumph, we'll be covering it all on today's show. We'll delve deeper into these stories and bring you more updates from around the world. We'll be right back with more of today's top news on Barbara's Bulletin. Welcome back to Barbara's Bulletin. We're diving into our middle segment, where we explore a developing story that's making waves globally. Today, we're focusing on the Democratic Republic of Congo, where President Félix Tshisekedi has sparked controversy by suggesting he may be open to a third term in office. This proposal has angered opposition politicians, who accuse him of attempting to circumvent the country's constitutional mandate limits and cling to power. According to reports, President Tshisekedi stated that he hasn't asked for a third term but would accept it if the people wanted him to continue. He emphasized that any change to the constitution would require a revision approved by referendum. The current constitution limits presidents to 2 terms, and Tshisekedi's comments have raised concerns about the potential for renewed political turmoil in the country. Opposition figures have criticized the president's remarks, warning against a slide into personalized power and institutional tensions. They argue that the DRC cannot afford to enter another cycle of political instability, given its history of conflict and democratic struggles. The debate over a possible constitutional revision is unfolding amidst ongoing insecurity in the eastern part of the country, where rebel groups backed by neighboring countries continue to pose a threat. President Tshisekedi has also hinted that the fighting could impact the timing of the next presidential election, scheduled for 2028, stating that elections cannot be held when parts of the country are occupied. As we follow this story, it's essential to consider the complexities and nuances at play. The DRC's history, political landscape, and regional dynamics all contribute to a delicate situation. We'll continue to monitor developments and provide updates as more information becomes available. For now, it's clear that President Tshisekedi's comments have ignited a heated debate about the future of democracy in the Congo. As we move forward, it's crucial to prioritize fairness, transparency, and the rule of law in any discussions about constitutional revisions or electoral processes. Good evening, and welcome back to Barbara's Bulletin. As we close out today's show, I want to bring to your attention a developing story that has significant implications for global trade and security. The Strait of Hormuz, a critical waterway that connects the Persian Gulf to the Arabian Sea, has been at the center of escalating tensions between Iran and the United States. According to recent reports, Iran has attacked several ships attempting to navigate the strait, including a French vessel, the San Antonio, which was part of a U.S.-led maritime protection initiative called Project Freedom. The attack has raised concerns about the safety of seafarers and the potential disruption to global oil supplies. Now, I want to provide some context here. The Strait of Hormuz is a vital shipping lane, with over 130 vessels passing through it daily before the conflict began. Iran's actions have effectively strangled the flow of oil and natural gas, leading to higher prices for gasoline, diesel, and jet fuel worldwide. The U.S. has responded by launching Project Freedom, aimed at convincing shipping companies that it is safe to navigate the strait under American protection. However, as we've seen, this has not deterred Iran from attacking ships. In fact, the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Navy has suggested that it expects to retain control over which vessels can pass through the strait, even if a deal is reached to end the conflict. I want to emphasize that this is a complex and multifaceted issue with various stakeholders involved. It's essential to approach this story with nuance and balance. While Iran's actions have been widely condemned, it's also important to consider the country's perspective and the historical context of the region. As we move forward, it will be crucial to monitor developments in the Strait of Hormuz and their impact on global trade and security. I encourage our listeners to stay informed and engage in thoughtful discussions about this critical issue. That's all for today's Barbara's Bulletin. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and until next time, stay engaged.